Does it matter if you have a high carb diet? There was a time when I tried the keto diet and cut out the carbs. This worked okay, but it's not the lifestyle that I could maintain. Carbs are in everything nice. Now, on the inverse, I tried a high carb diet as well as carb cycling. So, does it really matter if you have a high carb diet? At one point, I had my macronutrient split all calculated and worried about the carbs and fats and proteins and how much of each I got in to maximize muscle growth and overall energy so that I could be productive and feel good, and as opposed to sort of feeling slumpy and tired. So after dabbling with keto for a while, I was not able to stay consistent and I felt restricted, always wanting the food that I couldn't have. The energy was okay and the progress was okay, but it was not a lifestyle that I could live. I also tried intermittent fasting after that. Now, I wasn't using it as a hard and fast rule, but rather just pushing my breakfast since I didn't like eating in the morning. The reason why I mention this is because I found that the timing of the carb intake made a difference to how I felt too. Macronutrients are split into protein, fats, and carbs, and your body needs a balance of this. And if you've seen any of my videos, you know that I believe in prioritizing the amount of protein that you get in for muscle growth. Your calories are made up of carbs, fats, and protein. This means the more carbs you have, the less calories you can allot towards protein and fats. Finding the right split between the three will vary from person to person. After testing this out, I found that my body responds great to me getting in enough protein and eating up to my caloric target for the day. When I focus on my macro split, when I focused on it, I didn't enjoy the food or stick to my diet. I always fell off the wagon after a few days or sometimes after months. But if this is you, I would recommend just focusing on your protein intake. This gives you the freedom to eat the foods that you enjoy without spending your day trying to calculate each macronutrient. I will say that I found if I start my day with a lower carb and higher protein meal, I tend to feel much fuller as opposed to eating a bowl of oatmeal, which made me ravenous a few hours later. However, I also found that if I didn't space my carbs enough, I'd end up in a bit of a food coma afterward. And there are a lot of factors at play, like when you work out or the amount of calories you aim on hitting each day. Can finding the right macronutrient split give you the most optimal results after enough trial and error of testing this out on yourself? Yes, of course. But will you have that willpower to eat the same designed meal plan of food over and over to ensure this macro split? Or will you spend your time working this out for every new meal or snack that you have? Similar questions led me to focusing on more on the macro split and less on my caloric intake, which then did not give me the optimal results that I wanted, as I was not able to sustain this over long periods of time. Focusing on mastering my caloric and protein intake has proven for me to be the two biggest levers to focus on. As long as we aren't eating a restrictive diet, the carbs and fat intake should be good. That being said, if you have the willpower and energy to keep track of your carb and fat intake as well and keep consistent, then I would say why not? But for most of us, I think you need to worry about your carb intake. At least I don't think you need to worry about your carb intake, sorry, at least until you are comfortable, you know, keeping to your protein and caloric intake with ease. This makes switching meals out much easier. And easier means the odds of being consistent with your goals are more likely. My goal is to help 100 ambitious men who have not been seeing any results and know that it is not from a lack of trying. I want to help you find your way, so this assistance is completely free with no strings attached. But obviously, this offer will expire. So if that is you, send me a message, comment, let me know that you're interested, and I'll be in touch. I'll see you tomorrow.